There are moments when the mask slips. Brief, unguarded seconds where you see who someone really is beneath the performance. Maybe she thinks you're not paying attention. Maybe she's tired of pretending. Maybe she just forgot to keep up the act. But in that moment, you see everything you need to know. And once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. Let me show you exactly what to look for when someone accidentally reveals their true nature, because these moments will save you years of pain if you're paying attention. The self-presentation tells you everything about priorities. Watch someone who's constantly adjusting their hair, checking their reflection in every surface, repositioning themselves for the best angle. This isn't just vanity, it's revealing what matters most. The interaction isn't about connection, it's about being admired. You're not a participant, you're an audience, and the moment you stop applauding, watch what happens. I was at a coffee shop last week, observed this couple on what looked like a third or fourth date. She spent more time looking at herself in her phone screen than at him, hair flip every 30 seconds, checking her lipstick in her spoon, adjusting her pose when anyone walked by. Then he suggested they play chess. They had a board right there. Her entire energy changed. Why would you want to do that? Like he'd suggested something offensive. The activity would shift focus from her appearance to actual engagement. That's when the mask slipped. Some people interpret hanging out as being admired, not engaging. They show up expecting to be entertainment, not to participate in it. The plan in their head is simple. Sit there, look attractive, receive attention and validation. When you introduce an actual activity, something that requires thought, participation, focus on something other than them, they're genuinely confused. This isn't what I signed up for. The boredom gets treated like a personal assault. Instead of just saying, I'm not interested in board games, it becomes dramatic. Why are you doing this to me? This is so boring I could die. You're torturing me. Notice the language. Everything is being done to them. They're the victim of your suggestion to play a game. This victim framing over minor inconveniences? That's the real person showing through. A client told me about his ex-girlfriend's reaction to him working on his car. He invited her to hang out while he changed the oil, thought they could chat while he worked. Her response? So you're making me watch you ignore me? Making her. Ignore her. By doing basic maintenance on his vehicle while having a conversation. The dramatization of normal activities into personal attacks. That's someone showing you how they handle any situation where they're not the center of attention. The exaggerated language reveals how someone handles conflict. If a board game suggestion gets framed as persecution, imagine what happens during real disagreements. If hanging out while someone does a task becomes being ignored, what happens when you actually need space? The linguistic patterns someone uses during minor situations predict their behavior in major ones. I've noticed certain people can't describe any situation without themselves as either the hero or the victim. The barista was so rude to me. Translation. They got her order wrong and apologized. My boss attacked me today. Translation. He asked her to redo something. You're being mean. Translation. You're not doing what she wants. This language pattern is a massive red flag because it shows someone who can't process reality without distortion. Her reaction to small things signals how she'll treat future misunderstandings. If someone turns a game night suggestion into dramatic persecution, what happens when there's actual miscommunication? If being asked to participate in an activity becomes an attack, what happens during real conflict? You're seeing the preview of every future argument where you'll somehow be the villain for existing differently than expected. Here's what's fascinating. Men often sense the risk before they understand it logically. Your gut tells you something's off before your brain processes why. That inner alarm when someone overreacts to nothing, that's pattern recognition. Your subconscious has noticed the blame shifting, the dramatization, the attention seeking, the victim complex. It's warning you before you consciously understand the danger. I had this experience myself years ago. Dating someone who seemed great on paper, but something felt off. Couldn't explain it. Then one day, I suggested we go hiking instead of brunch. The reaction was insane. You know I don't like sweating. Why would you even suggest that? Are you trying to embarrass me? It wasn't about the hiking. It was about an activity where she couldn't be the center of aesthetic attention. That was the moment I understood what my instincts had been warning me about. Pay attention to subtle behavioral red flags that reveal deeper patterns. the way someone reacts when the spotlight shifts, how they respond when asked to participate versus perform. What happens when comfort gets prioritized over appearance? These moments show you whether you're dealing with a partner or a perpetual audience member who expects you to be the entertainment crew. The body language during these moments is incredibly telling. Watch what happens when attention shifts away. The crossed arms, the eye rolls, the dramatic sighs, the phone suddenly becoming fascinating. It's like watching a child who's been told playtime is over. The emotional regulation of a toddler in an adult body, and this person wants to be your life partner? Trust your instincts when someone feels emotionally unsafe. Not physically unsafe, emotionally unsafe. When you feel like you're walking on eggshells, when you're afraid to suggest activities, when you pre-plan conversations to avoid reactions. That's your nervous system telling you this person is emotionally dangerous. They might not hit you, but they'll exhaust you, drain you, manipulate you until you don't recognize yourself. Some people openly show through their reactions and language that they're quick to cast others as the problem. Everything is someone else's fault. Every inconvenience is an attack. Every request is unreasonable. Every boundary is mean. These people are telling you directly, I take no responsibility for anything, and everything will be your fault. Believe them. Here's a perfect example from social media. Video of a woman at the beach, joking but not really. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a beach day where no men were allowed? Imagine the reverse. Imagine a man saying, wouldn't it be nice if there was a beach day without women? The outrage would be immediate, but when she says it, it's supposedly funny. Except it's not really a joke. It's revealing how she actually thinks. The joke about excluding men reveals something real about how some people view the world. They want the benefits of mixed spaces when it suits them, but exclusive spaces when it doesn't. They want access to everything while maintaining the right to exclude others. They want inclusion for themselves, but not for you. This isn't equality thinking. It's supremacy thinking with a smile. Gender-exclusive spaces historically came from women demanding separation, not men. Men didn't fight to keep women out initially. Women wanted separate spaces for comfort. Fair enough. But then those same voices demanded access to men's spaces while maintaining their own exclusive areas. Gyms, clubs, schools, organisations. The pattern is consistent. We want ours and yours too. If spaces were actually split by gender based on some people's wishes, something interesting would happen. The men's spaces would have activities, sports, games, competitions, building things, doing things, movement, action, creation. The women's spaces, based on what we see in women-only gyms and clubs, would be quieter, more static, and within 6 months the same people who demanded separation would be complaining about being excluded from where the fun is happening. I've seen this dynamic play out in microcosm at parties. Some women arrive expecting to be entertained. The men start playing poker, pool, video games, creating fun. These same women who contributed nothing to the energy then complain the men are ignoring them. You wanted to be the centre of attention without participating in creating anything worth attending to. This reveals the larger point about control. Some people don't want equal participation. They want to dictate the dynamic, atmosphere and focus of every situation. When that control shifts, when the focus moves, when they are asked to contribute rather than just consume, the real personality emerges, and it's not pretty. Watch what happens at social gatherings when activities begin. The people who light up and participate, those are partners. The ones who get annoyed that attention shifted from admiring them to doing something, those are energy vampires. They don't want to play the game, they want to be the game. They don't want to have fun, they want to be the fun. A buddy of mine learned this lesson expensively. His ex would get genuinely angry when he played guitar. Not because it was loud or late, because for those 15 minutes he was focused on something that wasn't her. She literally said once, "Why do you need a guitar when you have me?" That's someone telling you directly that they expect to be your only source of interest, entertainment and focus. The victim complex reveals itself in small moments before exploding in big ones. Someone who can't handle not being the centre of attention for an hour won't handle you having friends, hobbies, interests, or dreams. Someone who interprets activity suggestions as attacks will interpret every life decision as a betrayal. You're seeing the trailer for a movie you don't want to star in. The language patterns are so consistent it's almost formulaic. You made me feel? No, you felt something and chose to blame me. You always, "No, I did something once that you didn't like." You never, "No, I don't do exactly what you want exactly when you want it." The linguistic manipulation is designed to make you responsible for their emotional state. Some people genuinely believe their emotions are everyone else's responsibility. They're bored, you must entertain them. They're insecure, you must validate them. They're unhappy, you must fix it. But here's the thing, you could perform perfectly and they'd still be miserable because the problem isn't external. The problem is someone who never learned emotional self-regulation. The attention economy in relationships is revealing. Healthy people can share attention. Sometimes it's on them, sometimes on you, sometimes on shared activities. Unhealthy people need all attention all the time. If you're focused on work, that's attention stolen from them. If you're with friends, that's attention they're not getting. It's exhausting being someone's only source of validation. I counselled a man whose wife would start arguments whenever he did anything that didn't involve staring at her. Reading a book. "You love that book more than me." Working out. "You care more about your body than our relationship." Calling his mother. "Why don't you talk to me that sweetly?" This isn't love, it's emotional hostage-taking. The projection in these situations is incredible. The person demanding all your attention accuses you of being selfish. The person creating drama accuses you of causing problems. The person who can't be satisfied accuses you of not trying. It's like being in a relationship with a mirror that only reflects distortions. Some people's true nature is that they see relationships as worship services where they're the deity. You're not a partner, you're a worshipper. Your job is to provide constant offerings of attention, validation, resources and energy. And like ancient gods, they're never satisfied with the sacrifices. There's always more demanded, more required, more expected. The entitlement reveals itself in expectations. They expect to be entertained without entertaining. They expect to be interested without being interesting. They expect to receive without giving. They expect to be the focus without focusing on anything. It's a one-way street where all traffic flows toward them. Here's a test I tell men to use. Suggest 3 different activities. One that's about her, one that's about you, and one that's neutral. Watch the reactions. Someone who's only enthusiastic about the first one, that's someone showing you their true nature. They're not interested in partnership, they're interested in worship. The false advertising in dating is staggering. Someone presents themselves as fun, easygoing, interested in your hobbies. Then once comfortable, the mask drops. Suddenly your hobbies are stupid, your friends are losers, your interests are boring. The person you met was a character. The person complaining is the actor. I've watched this transformation happen dozens of times. The cool girl who loved sports becomes the woman who resents Sunday football. The woman who thought your motorcycle was sexy now thinks it's dangerous and stupid. The one who admired your ambition now complains you work too much. The bait and switch is so common it's predictable. Some people can't conceptualize relationships as anything other than them being served. The idea of mutual benefit, shared growth, reciprocal support, it doesn't compute. In their mind, relationships exist to make their life easier, better, more comfortable. Your needs, wants, dreams, those are inconveniences at best, threats at worst. The reality distortion field some people create is impressive. They can turn any situation into one where they're the victim or the hero, never the villain. You could have video evidence of their behaviour, and they'd still explain how you're misinterpreting it, how you're the real problem, how everyone else is crazy. A client showed me text messages from his ex. She was calling him selfish for going to his brother's wedding instead of staying home with her. His brother's wedding. She actually wrote, "If you loved me, you'd skip it." When he went anyway, she told everyone he abandoned her. That's someone whose true nature is manipulation disguised as love. The emotional terrorism tactics reveal themselves gradually. First, it's guilt trips over small things, then manipulation over medium things. Finally, full-blown emotional warfare over everything. But it starts with those moments when they show you that your needs don't matter, your interests are irrelevant, your existence is only valuable as it serves them. The gaslighting attempts are almost predictable. I never said that when you have the text. That's not what happened when others witnessed it. You're too sensitive when they've been cruel. You're remembering wrong when you know exactly what occurred. This isn't confusion, it's deliberate reality manipulation. Some people treat relationships like resource extraction operations. They're mining for attention, validation, money, status, energy. Once the mine is empty, they move to the next one. You're not a person to them. You're a deposit of resources to be extracted. And when you're depleted, you're discarded. The sustainability test is simple. Could this person's behaviour continue for 50 years without destroying you? If someone needs constant attention now, will that decrease or increase with time? If they dramatise everything now, will that get better or worse? If they can't handle you having interest now, what happens when life gets more complex? The true nature often reveals itself when resources are limited, when there's less money, time or energy to go around. That's when you see who someone really is. Do they step up or demand more? Do they support or complain? Do they partner or parasite? Stress doesn't create character, it reveals it. I knew a couple where the man lost his job. Within a month, she was openly shopping for his replacement while still living in his house. Told her friends he was no longer the man she fell in love with. The man who was temporarily unemployed after supporting her for 5 years. That mask didn't just slip, it fell off completely. The social media behaviour is particularly revealing. Someone who posts relationship complaints publicly is showing you they value attention over resolution. Someone who needs to document every moment isn't present in any moment. Someone who curates their life for strangers' approval will never be satisfied with real connection. The friend group dynamics tell you everything. If all their friends are drama-filled, attention-seeking, perpetual victims, that's who they really are too. They might perform differently for you initially, but their true nature aligns with their chosen community. You are the company you keep, and that company is revealing. Some people literally cannot function without being the main character. Every story has to be about them. Every conversation has to centre them. Every decision has to consider them first. They're not capable of being supporting cast in anyone else's life, including yours. The competition for victim status is exhausting. You had a bad day, theirs was worse. You're tired, they're exhausted, you're stressed, they're having a breakdown. It's the oppression Olympics and they're going for gold in every event. This isn't empathy, it's competitive suffering. The inability to celebrate others reveals everything. When good things happen to you, watch their reaction. Real partners are genuinely happy for your success. Emotional vampires immediately make it about them, either by one-upping, minimizing, or finding the negative. Your promotion becomes about how you'll have less time for them. I watched a woman find out her boyfriend got into medical school. Her first response? "So you're going to be too busy for me for 4 years?" Not congratulations, not pride, not excitement, just immediate focus on how this achievement would negatively impact her. That's someone showing you exactly who they are. The boundary testing never stops with some people. They push a little, see what you accept. Push more, see what you tolerate. Keep pushing until they find your limit, then act shocked when you finally say no. You've changed, they'll say, when really you've just stopped enabling their true nature. The emotional labour imbalance becomes clear over time. You're managing their feelings, your feelings, and the relationship. They're just existing, expecting to be managed. You're the therapist, entertainer, validator, provider, and punching bag. They're the patient, audience, judge, consumer, and victim. Some people's true nature is that they're emotional toddlers in adult bodies. They want what they want when they want it. They throw tantrums when denied. They can't self-soothe, self-regulate, or self-reflect. And they expect you to be the parent they never had, providing unconditional love for conditional behaviour. The future with someone who accidentally shows you their selfish nature is predictable. Every year will be harder than the last. Every milestone will be about them. Your wedding will be their show. Your children will be their accessories. Your life will be their supporting role. Is that really what you want to sign up for? The accidental revelations are gifts if you're paying attention. That moment of rage over nothing? Gift. That manipulation attempt that failed? Gift. That mask slip during stress? Gift. They're showing you who they are when the performance fails. Believe them. The recovery from relationships with people who hid their true nature is brutal. You question your judgment, your perception, your sanity. How did you not see it? You did see it. You saw those moments when the mask slipped. You just explained them away, rationalized them, ignored them. Next time, trust what you see. Some people are simply not capable of being partners. They can be recipients, beneficiaries, dependents, but not partners. Partnership requires seeing outside yourself, caring about another's well-being, contributing to shared goals. Some people's true nature doesn't include these capabilities. The validation addiction is real with certain personalities. They need constant hits of attention like a drug. When you don't provide it, they'll get it elsewhere. When you do provide it, it's never enough. You're not dating a person. You're dating an addiction that happens to have a body. The script flipping that happens is remarkable. They pursue you, then complain you're clingy. They demand attention, then say you're needy. They create drama, then call you dramatic. It's projection so consistent you could set your watch by it. Men need to understand that some people's true nature is parasitic, not symbiotic. They don't want to grow with you. They want to grow off you. They don't want to build with you. They want you to build for them. They don't want partnership. They want servitude with benefits. The empathy gap is stunning with certain people. They can feel their own pain intensely but can't recognize yours exists. Their hangnail is a tragedy. Your surgery is an inconvenience. Their bad mood justifies everything. Your bad mood is unacceptable. This isn't just selfishness. It's emotional blindness. The recurring patterns across relationships are telling. If every ex was crazy, abusive, or narcissistic, maybe the common denominator is the person telling the story. If every job was toxic, every friend betrayed them, every situation victimized them, that's someone whose true nature is to never take responsibility. Some people accidentally reveal through their expectations that they see relationships as service positions. You're hired to make their life better. Your compensation is the privilege of their presence. And like any employer with an employee they don't respect, they'll demand more while offering less until you quit or break. The accountability allergy is real. Suggest they might have contributed to a problem. Attacked. Point out their behavior pattern. Abusive. Ask for reciprocal effort. Controlling. This isn't someone who can grow, change, or improve. This is someone who will be the same problem forever, just with different packaging. The true nature reveal often happens during minor inconveniences because that's when guard drops. Anyone can perform during the big moments when they know they're being watched. It's the small, unexpected moments that show reality. The reaction to traffic, to waiting, to plans changing. That's the real person. Watch what happens when you're sick. A real partner shows up, helps out, cares for you. Someone whose true nature is selfish. They're annoyed by the inconvenience. They might even create their own crisis to redirect attention back to them. Your pneumonia becomes about their slight cough. The investment imbalance becomes obvious over time. You're investing emotion, time, money, energy, effort. They're present. Sometimes, when it's convenient, when there's benefit, but ask them to invest equally? Why are you keeping score? Because the score is 100-0, that's why. Some people's true nature is that they're emotional black holes. No amount of love, attention, or validation can fill them. They'll consume everything you offer and demand more. You could sacrifice your entire life to them and they complain you didn't do it enthusiastically enough. The gratitude absence is telling. People who appreciate you show it. People using you don't. If someone never thanks you, never acknowledges your effort, never recognizes your sacrifice, that's not oversight. That's someone whose true nature doesn't include gratitude because they believe they deserve everything. The selective memory phenomenon is fascinating. They remember every mistake you've made in vivid detail, but forget every kindness you've shown. They can quote your words from arguments years ago, but can't remember you were there for them yesterday. This isn't memory, it's weapon collection. The energy vampire reveal happens gradually. You notice you're exhausted after seeing them, drained after talking to them, depleted after being near them. That's not love making you tired. That's someone whose true nature is to feed off others' energy while providing none. Some people can only connect through crisis. When things are calm, they create chaos. When things are good, they find problems. When things are peaceful, they start wars. Their true nature requires drama to feel alive, and they'll destroy peace to get their fix. The comparison game reveals insecurity masquerading as standards. They compare you to exes, to friends' partners, to fictional characters, to impossible standards. But it's not about you being insufficient. It's about them needing to feel superior by making you feel inferior. The testing never ends with someone whose true nature is insecurity. They test your love, your loyalty, your limits, constantly. And passing the test doesn't mean peace. It means the next test will be harder. It's exhausting being someone's constant reassurance that they're worthy of love they don't believe they deserve. Watch what happens when you succeed at something. A real partner celebrates with you. Someone whose true nature is competition or insecurity. They minimize it, find the negative, or immediately redirect to their own achievements. Your success becomes their threat. The accidental honesty in jokes is revealing. I'm such a handful. Yes, you are. You'll never find someone like me. Thank God. You're stuck with me now. That's the fear. When someone tells you who they are through humour, they're serious. The joke format just makes it socially acceptable. Some people's true nature is that they see kindness as weakness. Your patience becomes permission to push further. Your understanding becomes an excuse for worse behaviour. Your love becomes a license to mistreat. They don't reciprocate kindness, they exploit it. The respect deficit shows in small ways first. Interrupting you, dismissing your opinions, mocking your interests, rolling eyes at your concerns. These aren't quirks or bad habits, they're revelations of someone who fundamentally doesn't respect you. The manipulation tactics reveal themselves incrementally. First, subtle guilt trips, then emotional blackmail, then full-blown psychological warfare. But it starts with those moments when they accidentally show they see your emotions as tools for their benefit, not feelings deserving respect. Some people literally cannot be happy. Their true nature is dissatisfaction. You could give them everything, and they'd complain about the wrapping. They don't want solutions, they want problems. They don't want happiness, they want complaints. Trying to please them is like trying to fill a bucket with no bottom. The boundary blindness is astounding with certain people. They literally cannot see where they end and you begin. Your time is their time. Your money is their money. Your energy is their energy. Having boundaries with them isn't mean. It's necessary for survival. The false urgency creation reveals anxiety disguised as need. Everything is an emergency. Every want is immediate. Every desire is urgent. But it's not really about the thing they want. It's about seeing if you'll drop everything for them. It's a control test disguised as need. When someone accidentally shows you their true nature, believe them the first time. Don't wait for the second, third, or 50th revelation. Don't explain it away, rationalize it, or ignore it. That moment when the mask slipped, that was a gift. The universe showing you what you're really dealing with. Accept the gift and act accordingly. I want to hear from you guys. What moments have you witnessed when someone accidentally revealed their true nature? What did you see when the mask slipped? Did you listen to your instincts or explain it away? Drop your stories in the comments. Let's help each other recognize these moments for what they are. Warnings that can save us years of pain if we're willing to see what's right in front of us.